Back in 2021, the first chapter of Poppy Playtime came out, and all the 9-year-olds were instantly hooked by its unique gameplay, the creepy unique looking monster, and the mysterious lore. With its insane success, Chapter 2 and 3 soon followed, and now that all 3 of them are on PlayStation, I'll be platinuming them. Except the first one, which doesn't have a platinum trophy. Also, I never play horror games, so this will be good practice for when I finally decide to platinum Resident Evil 2, which I got for free from PS Plus a while ago. But anyway, I bought the first chapter of Poppy Playtime and got to work. So chapter 1 is actually incredibly short. It's so short that if you bought it on Steam, then you could finish the game and still technically qualify for a refund as long as it took you less than 2 hours. And because the game is so short, it only has 6 trophies and like I said, no platinum trophy. So this first chapter introduces you to a toy factory that the player had previously worked at but that had been abandoned for over 10 years. But it wasn't any toy factory. It made toys that were alive like Huggy Wuggy and Poppy, along with even creepier toys revealed in chapter 2 and 3. But the coolest and most dangerous toy they created is the grab pack, which the player gets to use. And quickly after getting it, I got my first trophy for meeting Huggy Wuggy for the first time and playing his theme song. After leaving Huggy Wuggy to do a puzzle with my new grab pack, he decided to leave me, but thankfully he was just hiding in the next room. I quickly did this room's puzzle and got the red hand, completing the grab pack, giving me another trophy. I was also working on another trophy here, which was to play all 5 VHS tapes in the game, which are the collectibles for the game, and is one of the 2 missable trophies in the game. Shortly after that, I was already doing the final puzzle of the game, where the mission was to create a toy. And after watching a VHS tape and spending way too much time on this puzzle, I got the most depressing looking toy ever made, giving me a trophy, and then I sacrificed it, opening a door. This chase is very cool, but actually insanely hard with the controller and my dark monitor, so I ended up dying. But I got through on my second try and got a trophy. And then just a minute later, I got the trophy for playing all 5 VHS tapes, and after that I completed the game and got the final trophy in just 30 minutes, meaning it was time to move on to the next, much harder game. So this game has a platinum trophy with 32 trophies, a big jump from the previous 6, with a couple really horrible ones, like making me finish the game in under 45 minutes, and another one making me finish the game without dying. But I started by just doing the story, and it was surprisingly fun. I first lost my red hand, but then got a way cooler green hand, which conducts electricity, which created some cool puzzles, and after that the mission was to complete some minigames, and then Mommy Longlegs would give a piece of the train code for every minigame completed. Once I had 3 train codes, I could escape and save Poppy. But she decided that I didn't play fair and tried to kill me, and she succeeded a couple times, but I always come back and decided to kill her back. And shortly after that, I got the final unmissable trophy for completing the game.
It's so beautiful.
And since I had collected 8 out of the 9 collectibles, all of them giving 1 trophy each, and did some random stuff in my first playthrough, I had 18 trophies in total. But those were the easiest trophies to get. Because I ended up dying way too many times and taking too long to finish the game, some of the hardest trophies were unobtainable for that playthrough. I thought getting the rest of the trophies would make my playtime go up by hours, and especially because there wasn't a chapter select like in the first game, but then I found a video showing how to get all of the trophies made by Cheetah's Guides, saving my life. With the help of his video, I had the mission of getting the rest of the trophies in one playthrough, like finding all the lore papers and VHS tapes, beating minigames in specific ways, doing random specific stuff, and of course beating the game in under 45 minutes and without dying. Could I get them all? Nope. Although I completed it without dying, I did not do it in under 45 minutes. But I did still have trophies for dying in specific ways left to do, so no matter what, I still had to do a 3rd playthrough. And after already beating the game without dying, I should get the head of schedule trophy this time, whilst also quickly throwing in the rest of the trophies. So in 4 hours I platinumed the 2nd game, but not without a very sad death. My controller got stick drift, which I still have no idea how to fix. But now it was time to do the hardest game out of the 3, and one that actually made me a little scared. So this game also has a platinum trophy with 31 trophies, a couple of them somehow even worse than the second ones, like bringing back the Zero Deaths trophy in an even longer game, but also introducing a new horrible one taking hours. But I started the game where I was in a garbage compactor, but because the game was so dark, I had no idea that I was being crushed, and got my first trophy 20 seconds in. Except for the terrifying sounds and the way spookier atmosphere, it was mostly the same gameplay wise. But the story was a lot more interesting. It was about this giant cat called Catnap putting people to sleep with his bad breath, and these creatures called the Smiling Critters. And they all, along with a bunch of children, lived in this little fake town underground that some dude had made to give the kids a better childhood, but something went pretty wrong. Anyway, I teamed up with Kissy Missy, Poppy, and Gregory disguised as Ollie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Gregory.
And the mission in this chapter was to move Catnap's bad breath from the right side to the left side in this device, and to do that I needed the Grab Pack 2.0. This let me bounce around and also reached way further. But getting this hand had a big downside. Quickly after getting it, the game became terrifying. Stop. Looking back, it really wasn't that bad. You can't even die at this part. So I got through it, and after unavoidably dying to Nightmare Huggy, I got the last trophy for the day. After a good night's sleep, I logged in and was back on the grind getting trophies, but was still impressed by how much they stepped up from the second game in the horror aspect, and this line is awesome.
Wait, I recognize you. Yes, I remember. You used to work here. How are you? Alive.
After escaping the school, I obtained a gun and got to the Smiling Critters, but little did I know that these things would make one trophy a nightmare later on. But I shot all 7 variants of them and got a trophy. I also found Catnap's secret lair and then met Dog Day, the last Smiling Critter still alive. He started to act up though, so I left, giving me a trophy. Then I witnessed the saddest death in the entire game, listened to the final Smiling Critter scream, did some more of the story, and then got the Can't Catch Me trophy for running around with Catnap for a minute, and Thrill Seeker for experiencing all 12 jump scares. So I gotta come clean. I took a peek at the trophy list and knew about a lot of the trophies, including those two. Listen, I was still traumatized from the day before, and because the second game didn't have chapter select, I wasn't gonna spend hours on the chance to get them again. And I kinda did something even worse later on for other trophies. But after that, I defeated Catnap in a specific way, giving me 2 trophies, found and played every VHS tape, and then I completed the game with a total of 21 trophies with just 10 left. I thought getting the last ones would be tedious, but thankfully Chapter Select was back, meaning I could instantly go to the right place for specific trophies. Some were super easy, and it was pretty fun to get random ones quickly, but knowing I was saving the worst ones for one final playthrough made it slightly less enjoyable. Well, they thankfully got rid of the time-based one, but instead brought in self-restraint, forcing me to play the game without launching the grab pack more than 200 times. And this was even harder because of my hero Cheetah's Guides not having a video on chapter 3. I was all alone. Well, until I decided to cheat. So basically, PlayStation has this cloud save system where you can store progress you've made in a game. So for an example, I can save at one point where I have 0 deaths and have used my grab pack as little as possible, and when I move on and die or use the grab pack a little bit too much, I can go back to that save and reset my progress, and my trophies can still be obtained. So I got to work and every so often saved, and it was all fine until I got to the Smiling Critters. Here I needed to move 2 cubes to activate buttons on the opposite sides of the rooms with way too many Smiling Critters around. With the gun I can shoot them and make them run away, but because of the self-restraint trophy, I wasn't gonna be able to shoot all of them like in my first playthrough. I had to quit the game every time to reload the old save from PlayStation Cloud just to die after 30 seconds again. It took me almost an hour and a half to get past this. For the rest of the run, the 0 deaths trophy was not that big of an issue, whilst the 200 grab pack uses trophy was just getting worse, but then it randomly popped. Thankfully this trophy doesn't matter in the Catnap boss fight. But I was so excited about finally getting it and almost having the platinum trophy that I completely forgot to save before the boss fight, but that still wasn't my biggest concern. What if I had accidentally not saved correctly in the Smiler's Critters area, and I actually had a death? And well, after killing Catnap, locking the final death opportunity in the game, I did not unlock it, because I had to finish the game first, making my final playtime in Chapter 3 7 hours and all 3 games combined around 12 hours. I will now be taking a couple year long break until I platinum Resident Evil 2, unless you like and subscribe.